Welcome back to the channel. Last time we covered part 2 of this series, and this is part 3. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe for more. 2 weeks since the outbreak, GHQ has initiated a quarantine in the infected region called Loop 7, cutting off all forms of telecommunication within the area. Tanaozu High School is now being used as a shelter for young refugees. Tsugumi and Ace decide to stay at the school with Shuu and Inori, assuming Funeral Parlor is disbanded. Sauda suggests to Shuu, Yujiro, Sauda, Hare, Kanan, and Arisa to hold a school festival to create a relaxing environment for the refugees. Shuu later shows Yujiro that his power has evolved, which enables him to extract voids from people without rendering them unconscious. Meanwhile, Segai, now taking over the antibodies, sends Daryl undercover to spy at the school. As the students prepare and run the festival, a group of disgruntled refugees prepare to attack the school with a Humvee and an endlove provided by Segai. As the disgruntled refugees attack, Shuu tries to bring Ace to safety, but she scolds him for treating her with pity due to her inability to walk. Shuu helps Ace by extracting her void, a pair of leg braces that allow her to rapidly skate over ground, jump with incredible power and even fly, allowing the both of them to defeat the disgruntled refugees. Soon after, a television signal broadcasts Kido, revealed to still be alive and now in command of the Japanese provincial government, announcing that Loop 7 will be sealed off for the next 10 years. During a student assembly concerning the lockdown, 2 male students named Takeomi Sudo and Hirohide Nanba are distrusting of Arisa being the student council president, suggesting to elect a new student council president in her place. Tsugumi, insensitive at the student council's opinion against this suggestion, later talks with Inori and reveals that she has been orphaned since childhood. As the student council discovers a genome resonance gauge that allows them to measure the power of a person's void, Segai enacts Kido's plan to exterminate the civilians inside Loop 7 by endloves operated by a ghost unit. Segai allows the news of the slaughters to spread, causing distress and panic as part of his demagogy strategy. The next day, trouble arises on campus as the result of an internet rumor saying that they will be granted freedom once they turn in a member of Funeral Parlor to GHQ. When Arisa attempts to restore order to the panicking student body, Hirohide and Takeomi accused Tsugumi and Ace of being members of Funeral Parlor. However, Shuu arrives and reveals his affiliation with Funeral Parlor to stop them from harming Tsugumi and Ace and prove that the rumor is false, using Tsugumi's void, a wand that can create holographic projections of people. The doubles of Shuu, Tsugumi, Ace, and Takeomi are created and sent to the barricade, only to be shot down by Daryl and the antibodies. As Funeral sends a live feed of the scene to the crowd, Shuu advises them not to trust GHQ to survive together. Yujiro convinces the students to elect Shuu as their new student council president. Yujiro then gives Shuu a list containing the power of each student's void as ascertained by the genome resonance gauge suggests they prioritize those with powerful voids. Shuu is not too fond of the void ranking system since that means categorizing the students by usefulness. To make matters worse, the blockade gradually draws closer and the supply of vaccines starts running low. Yujiro and Arisa give Shuu a list of the students in prioritization of vaccination, though Shuu is opposed to this idea. Later, Shuu is approached by Sauda and other weaker students who are afraid of being left behind after finding out about this list, asking him to draw out their voids to use for training purposes, to which he complies. Hare is encouraged by Tsugumi to confess her feelings to Shuu, but she refrains herself and comforts Shuu instead, seeing that he feels troubled questioning his leadership. Shuu later learns that Sauda and the weaker students left the school to look for the supply of vaccines instead of training, and he rushes to help them with his friends. The group is attacked by Daryl and the antibodies, and both Shuu and Hare end up seriously injured. Hare uses her void to heal Shuu first, but it is broken by a helicopter shot before she is able to heal her own wounds. Shuu wakes up just to find her lying dead beside him, horrified when the virus crystallizes and destroys her body when he takes her into his arms. An enraged Shuu draws Inori's void by force and destroys the antibodies with ease. Blaming Sauda for Hare's death, Shuu vents his rage by beating him and declares that he will implement the ranking system and become a ruthless king, something Hare did not want him to become. Argo is airdropped into Loop 7 as part of his mission to rescue Arisa for Akina, who plans to negotiate a peace treaty with the head of a conglomerate called the Minghua Group in exchange for arranging a marriage with Arisa. As Argo explores the area, he witnesses Hirohide and Takeomi attacking 2 other students for vaccines. However, two female students named Ritsu Takarada and Miyabi Harikawa recognize Argo as a member of Funeral Parlor and take him to see Shuu, but Argo is shocked to see how much Shuu has changed. While the high-ranked students are a part of his secret service to enforce his rule and maintain order, the low-ranked students are forced to repair an abandoned battleship in exchange for being vaccinated. Argo, refusing to swear loyalty to Shuu, is locked up in a jail cell, where Tsugumi explains to Argo that the students accept Shuu as their leader without challenge in desperate need of survival. Argo later escapes from his jail cell to find Arisa, who is also locating him as well. Shuu sends Inori Yuzuriha in the secret service to search for Argo, eventually finding him in the school stadium to confront him. This is interrupted when steel beams fall overhead and Shuu tries to push a female student of the Secret Service to safety, but her void is destroyed, causing her to be infected with and killed by the virus. Shuu, now learning that a void user will die if their void is destroyed, realizes that Yuzuriha lied to him of how Hare died, but Yuzuriha justifies this to assure that Shuu would implement the ranking system. Argo tries to bring Shuu back to his senses, but Shuu forcefully pulls out Argo's void, pondering on whether he should destroy it. Arisa, who witnessed everything, tries to warn everyone of the truth about voids using the broadcast room, but she is stopped by Inori, who gives a maniacal glee before attacking her. With the rescue mission a failure, the head of the Minghua group cancels his help, but advises Akina to leave Japan as a large naval fleet is on its way. Meanwhile at GHQ headquarters, Kido and Haruka resurrect Gai. Shuu continues his ruthless behavior, which brings concern to Yuzuriha, but Shuu chooses to act this way to avenge Hare's death. Arisa, traumatized after being attacked by Inori, is contacted by an unknown individual who convinces her to turn the students against Shuu. Arisa seduces Hirohide and convinces him to have Takeomi secretly spread the resentful rumor to the students regarding their impending deaths from the potential destruction of their voids, something Shuu neglected to mention. Yuzuriha, after speaking with Arisa, goes to tell Shuu that Inori should be punished for being the one who attacked Arisa. However, Shuu views Yuzuriha as a hypocrite and exiles him from the Secret Service. Later, the students commence Operation Exodus, attacking the ghost unit Endlivs guarding Tokyo Tower, while Shuu manages to reach Tokyo Tower and blow up its supercomputer, deactivating the Endlivs and causing the tower to fall into the barricade. As the students escape through the barricade, Arisa and the students turn on Shuu. However, a GHQ Endliv unit led by Gai attacks them, in which Gai cuts off Shu's arm and takes the void genom onto himself, leaving Shuu in agonizing pain. Thank you for watching part 3 of this series. Please don't forget to smash the like and subscribe for more. Part 4 coming soon.